I hit this morning, crank it up, let it run a little bit. It's cold. Need to get these tools out. I was gonna actually um do something today, but it's wet. So I ain't doing anything today. I was gonna actually clean these rims and paint them. The system airing up now. So not gonna be able to do that today. So really just gonna be in the house today, but I did come in here and crank it up. Like I said, it's been starting fine since I figured out what was killing the battery. I couldn't believe it, but I didn't really pay attention to what was killing the battery. On the truck, my battery, I didn't have problems with starting until I hooked this tablet up. And the thing about it is, if you leave that tablet on for a long period of time, it would drain that battery. And I thought it was kind of strange, but the battery's old, so I gotta get some new batteries. But other than that, been cranking and starting fine. Because what I do now is when I cut it off, I just hit the kill switch right here. And once I hit the kill switch right there, because it's not just the tablet, this is pulling too. And that tablet pulled a lot of voltage. So that's what was killing the battery. So the thing with the freightliner is, once the battery drained down to a certain amount of volts, it won't start until the batteries are charged. So that's how I figured out the problem with the starting. So, but other than that, shit, it's good. I'm gonna let it run a little bit because it's cold and rainy out here. It's wet, it's nasty. Grass is starting back to growing, and I ain't even beginning to pick up the trash in my ditch right here. So, grass is getting green, lawnmower sitting out. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Let it run a little bit. It is nasty outside, man. I still got to order my mattress because I didn't get a mattress. I still got to order my mattress. You got to take my grinder out and put it back in the shop, or in the barn, or whatever, and then clean the floor again because I've been in and out messing with stuff. And so, just waiting. We're about to be at 5 months of active authority. Then people like, oh, you wasting money. Nah, no, you're not. It's best if you can afford it, to go ahead and let it age like it's properly should. So you don't have to struggle with trying to get too many loads. So 2 more months, I'll be at 6 months, and then, man, we should be, able to go. 6 months, that opens 6 months of active authority opens a lot of doors for brokers at 6 months. You still ain't got that year yet, but you at least 80% there with 6 months. So it's just, I want to say, man, it's less stressful just to let it age, unless you're gonna deal with a broker company and pay them a fee every week to broker your loads. That's what people didn't tell me as I started to get the buy the truck, and I got this far, was the different things about age, the age of your authority. It's 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, and a year. You can breathe a little bit when you got 6 months. You can breathe a little bit. When you got 6 months, you can breathe a little bit. Now, if you leasing on to somebody, that's all cool. Don't matter. If you taking your truck, you leasing it on to JB Hunt, Snyder, Mercer, B-Mac, whoever doing the leasing out there, there's a lot of them. If you leasing on to them, Warner, It don't matter about your authority, but when you got your own authority and you're booking your own loads and you're dealing with brokers yourself, you got to have an agent authority. So that that means if you buy a truck, if you go and buy a truck right now, what is it, SFI, or whoever you buy a truck from, lease it, whatever, and you go lease on to, let's say, Mercer or Landstar, Mercer, they're going to give you your tags. They're going to give you their DOT number and MC number, and you're going to put that on the side of your truck. Well, if you stay with Mercer or Landstar for 2 years, and then they say, man, we don't want you no more, or we don't need you no more, you can't just jump on a load board and start booking loads because you don't have an authority. That's why I tell guys, it's best to just get you an authority. You can have your authority on your truck. If I ain't mistaken, you can have your authority on your truck while you leasing, or you can have an authority while you leasing. Some shit like that. Now, don't quote me on that. I don't know how to do. I see some people put it on their vehicles. Some people will buy a vehicle and they'll put commercial auto on their vehicle, like that right there. They just buy that, put it on that, and let it run while they leased on to somebody. And then when it age 6 months to a year, they switch everything over to their truck. You can do that too, but look into that because I don't know how that do. I just know how to cook it, and I'm cooking mine. I don't know about putting it on the vehicle, and I've heard people doing it. I've heard people doing it, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know the technique of it, of doing it that way. I just know the way I'm doing it. The way that I'm doing it is not unheard of. It's not unheard of. Plenty of guys have done it the way that I'm doing it. I ain't gonna say plenty of guys. I'm gonna say hundreds of thousands of guys have done it the way that I'm doing it. Just cooking it. As a matter of fact, the guy right around the corner, he bought his truck a year before mine. He running his. He let his cook for about 6 months. His truck sat in the yard for about 6 months. And after his 6 months was up, I ain't seen that truck since. Unless he's home. He bought a Volvo. He was letting his do that. This guy around the corner, this guy right here, matter of fact, right over here, you can't see him, but that's the highway. This guy right over here, he got one. He pulled tankers. He pulled tankers with his. Then some of these guys are gas company drivers, because this a guy stay on the street over here. He pulled gas. He pulled for one of them gas companies. He a company driver. So I don't know about all of that. I just know what I know. And what I know is, if you ain't gonna lease it on to nobody, you're gonna have to cook your MC. You're not gonna have to cook your DOT, but you're gonna have to cook your MC. You're gonna have to cook your MC number, not your DOT. Your MC number, DOT number, it don't matter. It's active either way. So that's how that is. So it's cold as hell out here. It's nasty. It's raining. And I'm about to go back in the house. I'm just letting it run a little bit. Yeah, I'm just letting it run a little bit. Yep. This is it. Yeah, be listening to people there. Oh, you can do this, and oh, you can do that. Man, you better know what the fuck you getting into when you buy one of these motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You better know what you getting into when you buy one. That's all I'm gonna say. Very, very frustrating doing it yourself. Very, very frustrating. That's why a lot of guys, when they got into it, they bought box trucks, because box trucks and hot shotting it's a little easier than doing this. It's a little cheaper than doing this. And I'm talking about for your own authority. I'm not talking about leasing, and I'm not talking about doing a company lease through. I'm talking about when you get your own stuff. It's a little complicated, dog. It's a little complicated. You gotta do everything yourself. You know, you got to get this truck inspected. You got to get the trailer inspected. You know what I mean? You got to go up there and sit in that damn office to get your tags and all of that crazy stuff at the RPO. You got to do all of that, which that's what I had to do. You got, you know, you're responsible for all of that. You, nobody else. You're responsible for the 2290. You're responsible for you every year. You're responsible for all of that. You're responsible for the BOC3. All of that stuff you're responsible for. So that's why a lot of guys lease. They truck on the companies so they don't have to deal with that. I did it all myself, so it took me a while to get there though. It took me a while to get there. It took me a while to get here. It took me a while to get here. Yep. But it's raining. I'll be out here getting sick because it is kind of cold out here today for some reason. I think it ran long enough. Let's see. I can get my air hose and blow it out, but it ain't gonna be today. And then I just hit my switch right here, and that keeps that from killing my damn battery. That's it. Huh? You said no one cares? Then why you on my page then? You know how many people on YouTube? You can go easily find you somebody else to play with. You can get off mine. I appreciate it. I'm talking about this baseball beast or whatever he is. He got the right emoji behind his picture. But I'm going back in the house though. It's just, I mean, look at the sky. It's nasty cold out here. We're not quite there yet.